Joanne. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. We're going via Skype and phone because my headphones didn't work.
Okay, that's it. Because Eric, my guy, told me phone and Skype, and so it got me very confused. But the Skype connection is fantastic, and you sound great, so I appreciate you going the extra mile. And I know you just finished training as well, so thank you very much for squeezing us in. It's great to see you again.
Thank you. Yeah, I washed my hair. I forgot it was Tuesday, so Monday when I was telling you I'll be in between training, it's because I was thinking of Monday and it's Tuesday, so I managed to have an herb.
What is going on? What is happening?
That's Robbie. Sorry, I'm at the gym. So yeah, I had time to go and wash my hair, and it wasn't as rushed as I thought because it's Labor Day yesterday and it's Tuesday. That's right.
And hello to my old classmate Robbie Stein over there back there in his belly that just made a cameo on the program. So there's much to discuss with you, Joanne. You are returning to action in November in Sydney against Bec Rawlings, and you are fighting at Flyweight. But first, we have not talked to you since the fight against Cynthia Calvillo, since that fight in Glasgow in July. And just curious, right off the top, did you think you did enough to win that fight, or were you in agreement with the judges?
No, looking back on it now, but even if I won the fight, I would be like criticising myself, like I didn't do enough to win the fight, and I should have committed more, and just tried to. Like I was looking for a fight, and that was not smart on my part as a fighter. So, I could have maybe took her down and stuff. I was just more like trying to make it a good fight and got caught up in being a fighter, and it wasn't smart on my part, and I was annoyed at the time, but now I've had time to look at it and reflect, and should have done better.
Well, so why is that? Why did you feel like you fought that way? Was it because you were at home and you wanted to put on a fun performance and you didn't really stick to the game plan?
To be honest, like the whole camp was a bit, I kind of winged it, and I was just kind of going in there with the thing with, I'm just going to, I was just kind of going in there and wanting to make an entertaining fight, and that just didn't happen because she didn't bring it to me. I didn't adapt to the fight, and that's where it caught me off guard, and obviously you can't strike with someone if they don't want to strike with you, so yes, it would have been good to have a plan B to go to, but it's in the past now and I'm ready for the next one.
So you put the onus on her? You feel like she didn't engage enough and that made for a not really fan-friendly kind of fight?
Like, looking back on it now, anyone can see that she was just not wanting to engage and then just kind of get that takedown at the end of the round. But, like, it's smart. Like, she wanted to get the win. Like, it's dangerous. She would have maybe been thinking, it's dangerous striking with her. So she's a smart fighter at the end of the day. And I want to be smart, but at the same time, I don't want to lose that I'm going in there to fight. So I think I need to find the balance.
Okay. And how would you compare this experience fighting at home compared to the first one? I mean, obviously the result was not one that you liked compared to the first one, but did it feel as special? Did the novelty kind of wear off? At this point, do you not like fighting at home? Is there too much pressure? How would you compare?
I loved it. It was a little bit more stressful this time because, like, the start of the camp was not good. I didn't want to fight at 115 again, but with the way things went, I was like, let's do it. Like, at that time, it was the only option. So, well, to my knowledge, it was the only option. So I just done it, and a few things happened in the camp. Like the week before, my nutritionist was like, no, I'm not coming out for the week of the fight. So me and Zach were kind of like winging it on fight week when I should have been more a professional and made sure there was someone with me that knew what they're doing and kind of kept me on track, instead of just been like, it'll be fine and we'll make weight. And I was trying to be positive, but at the same time, I wasn't being productive.
Do you feel like that's why you missed weight? Like if your nutritionist came with you, that you would have been on track and there wouldn't have been any other issues? Or do you feel like other things came into play and that's why you missed weight?
Yeah, well, our first bath in the morning didn't go. It wasn't hot enough, so it kind of just put us back in time. But like, I'm positive that I could make 115 again. Like, obviously, the extra 10 pounds is a killer and stuff. And if I had the option of fighting 125 and 115, I would obviously want to fight 125 because I want to be active. I want to be getting more experience. Like that last fight, I couldn't adapt. It's because I'm not getting experience in the octagon, and yeah, it's cool sparring and stuff, but it's not the same as fighting. Fighting's where you learn your lessons, and I've only fought like once this year, twice last year. It's not good enough, and fighting at 115, it was obviously a hard cut for me, so I could only fight not very often, so hopefully 125 will allow me to get more experience and adapt and be a better fighter when I'm in there.
How bad was the cut? I mean, again, you didn't make the weight, but like the actual effort to make 115, did you feel like you were depleted by the time you got to the scale and that you weren't at full strength come fight night? Was it one of the tougher ones for you?
Yeah, for sure. I was in the sauna the night before for like 4 hours.
Oh.
Like, and that's before I even like done anything else. And I had dieted most of the camp, but to be honest, like I wasn't really sticking to one diet, and it was hard when I was traveling and stuff, which was a big mistake in my part. This is like 5 different countries in that camp, and you know what it's like when you're traveling. It's really hard to find the nutrition you need. So just a few things, but I don't want to make excuses. It's my own fault, and I don't want to sound like a moaning pig.
No, I understand. Which country? I know you were in Iceland, right?
Yep.
Where else?
Turkey, Dallas, Vegas, that retreat.
Right.
Man, there was so much good food there, and I went to Turkey for a wedding. Just these things add up, and maybe in my part, I was like trying to embrace it and have a good experience of living and stuff. But at the end of the day, I have to be a professional, and maybe that part was not good, especially when I want everything to go smoothly for mentality. Like, you're confident when you know everything's going right.
I remember that we spoke right after the Dallas presser thing, and it was sort of at the beginning of the camp, and you had just found out that you were fighting Cynthia, and you also just found out that they were finally going to do the 125-pound division. And it was kind of a weird thing because you would, prefer to fight at 125. It's an easier cut for you, and yet, here they are introducing it, and you're still fighting at 115. And it felt like there was kind of like this mental, I don't know, this juggling act. Like, oh, you know that 125 is coming, but yeah, you have to get through this 115 test. Was that tough for you, knowing that, okay, it's finally opening up, there is a light at the end of this tunnel that is, the dieting for you, but yet you still have to go through this? And was it hard for your mind to sort of embrace the idea of one more time at 115?
The thing with that was I was more annoyed and kind of upset with the way UFC dealt with it. Like Sean, I had expressed myself with Sean, the matchmaker, that I was having trouble outside the camp, like to try and keep my weight down. And I was seeing a nutritionist, and I was trying to get my shit together. And then I had an ankle injury, and I was telling him all this, and I was like, I'm really, really struggling, like, can you help me out here? And then he came back with like, no, 115, and because I've always been asking for about a year now, 125, when we're doing 125, and he's always like, not, and even then he was like, no, whereas he could have said, look, Joanne, do this one at Glasgow, 115, and then we'll think about 125. But then again, that's me taking that personally, and I was hurt and thinking, oh, that's not nice, and oh man, like, because I literally found out the next day on Twitter.
Oh.
And I was like, what? I've just signed my contract, you know, but then that's another thing. I can't take these things personally. The UFC's doing that job, and I have to do mine. I signed a contract for 115, and yeah, I shouldn't have taken it personally, but at the time I was like really hurt and kind of played on my mind a little bit. But
did you consider going on The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, like I would have, but obviously, like Glasgow is a great opportunity. I would have done probably Glasgow. It's just a shame that the timing didn't work out. But for me, I would love to go back on the Ultimate Fighter and not see it as much as a kind of negative part as what I did the last time. I was like, yeah, you have to be strong, positive and all that. But really deep down, I was like, man, this is my worst nightmare. Going on telly with these girls. It was my kind of nightmare, whereas I should have seen it as a positive and a great experience. So I would love to do it again, and I would have done it. But yeah, these things happen for a reason, and just wasn't supposed to be.
See, I kind of feel like it's a blessing in disguise to not be on the show, because I mean, just look at who are the top fighters at 115. None of them went on the show. You know, Joanna, Claudia, none of them went on the show, and they're doing well. And it seems like they're happy with their pay. Why go through that 6-week, you know, that mental strain, living in the house and being disconnected from the world, when it doesn't even guarantee that you'll end up being one of the top people in the division? Why would you want to go through that again?
Yeah, for sure. And like people don't realize like the mental toughness you need to be in there with other people and being away from people. And to be honest, the training's not even that great. Like when I went, like I'm used to training, just train. And there it's just more like you're lucky if you get a good 1 hour, 2 hours a day. And so that can be a negative as well. Especially if you're preparing to fight, you want to be the best, and to go on and be in that environment, sometimes it's not good to fight in that environment.
Yeah.
Have your best performances and your best wins.
Sure. And then living with everyone, I mean, it just seems like a nightmare, at least to me. And then the first episode aired last week. Did you watch the first episode of the new season of The Ultimate Fighter?
No, I didn't.
That makes two of us.
I hardly watch my season.
You have to watch what?
I'm trying to be better. I don't have Wi-Fi in my apartment, so like that's why I'm here at the gym. And I've started trying to watch more of the fights and stuff. It's hard, like trying to fit everything in. There's so much things that you have to keep in contact with, catch up with.
Yes, I know. Trust me. There's like 7 hours of UFC every week. But this particular season, the premiere just kind of came out of nowhere. Again, I mean, I feel like there wasn't a lot of marketing for it. So just another example, I think that maybe you made the right choice, or maybe you didn't have to make the choice. Maybe it's a blessing that, you know, the timing didn't work out for you to be on the show. Was it a given that you would be at 125? And do you like this matchup for you now? I know you had a 125 fight in the UFC around a year and a half ago against Letourneau, but a way to reintroduce yourself against someone like Bec Rawlings in Sydney. Do you like this scenario? Are you comfortable with everything now?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not stressing out about having to make the weight. Like, I'm always like, I can't let anyone down. I have to make weight, and that stresses you out. Like, any fighter will tell you, like, being on a diet and stuff, it just kind of, I'll still have to be on a diet for 125, but it will just not be that, cutting that extra 10 pounds and having that kind of big, massive burden on your shoulders. So, yeah, I like this fight. I know Bec's tough and she's game, so that plays in favour of me. So I'm really looking forward to it.
How do you feel about Bec as a fighter? Are you a fan of hers as a fighter?
No. Like, I was in the house with her, and I don't really get on with her, but she's a completely different person to me, and to be honest, I've not really heard much of her since, because I don't follow social media and stuff, but I do hear a lot of people don't really like her and that kind of thing. But across all that, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just looking to fight her, and hopefully she brings me a good fight and we slow down.
Yeah. So you mentioned, obviously you were in Scotland afterwards. Did you go on some like big hiking trip or something with your mom? I saw you posted about this. What was that?
Yeah, it's called the West Highland Way, and it's in Scotland. Basically, you go from Mulgai and just outside of Glasgow all the way to Fort William, which is, I was saying it was like 100 miles. We've probably done more than 100 miles, but it's actually, like, the course is 96 miles of a trek.
Wow.
So my mum's always wanted to do it, so I told her to book it. I didn't think she would book it like 2 days after my fight, but to be honest, the fight wasn't the hardest, and I was fine. I didn't really train for it, but I'm like, how hard can it be? It's walking for, like, I think one day we walked for 22 miles. That was probably the toughest, but it was good catch up, because obviously I don't see my mum a lot, and I go with her, so it was really good. And I got to see most of Scotland at the Highlands. You always drive past it and stuff, but there's nothing like walking past and being in the moment and taking it all in. So, an amazing experience.
So just you and your mom walking for almost 100 miles? Wow. How many days?
5 days.
Wow. Did you bond? Did you have a lot of heart-to-heart chats?
Yeah, and it was especially good after the fight, and just reflecting, and like, so what if you lose a fight? You've got your family there, and you just have to live in the moment and realise that fighting's not everything, and as long as you do your best and you're healthy, that's the main thing.
So do you feel like it was a bit of a cleansing after that disappointment?
Yeah, but I didn't see it as a disappointment, only like after the fight and stuff, but you're high with adrenaline and nerves, and like the crowd's going and stuff, but after I was like more calm and just seeing things a little bit different, and there's always positives and negatives you can take from a fight, whether you win or lose, so I could take a hell of a lot from that fight.
You've been through a lot over the last couple of years, and changing and moving and switching teams and all that. Do you feel like you're finally getting into a groove now in Montreal and with the team, and now it's the division that you want? In your mind, you feel like the stars are starting to align for you, or not quite yet?
Yeah, I do definitely feel like things are starting to be in place, and like even last year I was like, yeah, this is it, I've got everything, and then something else happened, and it just life telling you like things aren't right, and you still have to work on getting things better. And now I do feel like everything is like, this is JoJo part 100 or something we're on, but yeah, I do think that everything's starting to go good, and not even good, just the way I'm happy, and it's the way I want things, and I've got a good team around me. I've finally found genuine people that want to see me to succeed, and the one person is me. Like, I'm doing stuff that I want to do, and yeah, it took a while.
That's great.
You always get one in.
By the way, who do you consider to be like the person to beat at 125? It seems like it's kind of wide open. In your mind, you feel like there's someone, whether they're on the show because on the show they're going to crown a champion, or someone who's maybe not on the show like yourself, who's coming down from 135 or coming up from 115, who you think will be, the person to beat right off the bat, like the one that you'll have to get through to get to the belt? Do you see someone there?
It's really hard because the division, like, I think there'll be a lot more girls moving from 115 and moving up, and then moving down from 135. So
right.
The division is really hard to look at just now, but I think there's going to be some exciting matchups, and especially if everyone's healthy and happier. Like, I know myself, I'm going to be one of those girls. And it's going to be an exciting division. So, yeah, I think we can't really say right now, but obviously the person who wins the belt on the show will be first in my list.
And just curious, Cynthia says that she's very close to fighting Joanna in her mind, and she thinks that she'll be the one to beat Joanna. Do you think that she'll be the one to beat Joanna now that you've been in there with her? Do you see that in her?
Nah, I don't see her beating Joanna. And it's no disrespect to her, but she's still really, like, even though she beat me and stuff, she didn't, like, knock me out or show that she showed she was a smarter fighter. But at the end of the day, she didn't. I wouldn't see her going on and beating the champion, especially maybe in a few fights, but not right now.
Okay. And this will be your first time training for a fight at the gym while the great George St. Pierre is training for a fight as well. And in fact, your fight is very close to his. Has he been around, and what has it been like to actually see? I know he's around the gym all the time. He hasn't really gone away, but to see him about to get into a fight camp for his return, that's incredible. That's being like next to Michael Jordan in some respects. What's that been like for you?
It's amazing. Like, he takes a class every Monday, and he's always like telling us, like, he's going over the techniques, and he's always telling us, like, oh, this happened to me in this fight, and he always gives us examples. He's just like great champion and a great fighter and a great athlete to look up to. And like you say, he's never at the gym. So for me, like, because I'm always in the gym, I'm looking at him, and he's doing the same, and he's awesome, and he seems to have all his shit together. So I'm always looking at him saying, that's where I want to get to. And having access to that is amazing, and seeing it, like, being on the same mats as him as well.
Yeah.
Like, today he came in for sparring, and he's like, oh, Jojo, you're killing it this week, and it just kind of makes you feel like, yeah, I am. And then it's just nice, and the fact that he's humble and he's just like any other guy, like, it's good to look up to that as well.
Yeah, I can't imagine. What a treat for a young fighter to have that motivation right beside you, and him pushing you, and you guys training for a fight at the same time. I'm very happy that you're back, and that it's not a year layoff in between fights for you, that they got you right back in there. Maybe that is a sign of things to come with this new division. So best of luck to you, Joanne. It's been great to catch up. And most importantly, I'm happy, and no one will understand this, but I'm happy that you finally went to the Orange Julep right across the street from TriStar. Did your life change after trying that juice?
It was amazing.
Yes.
I had the poutine as well.
Oh my gosh. That's not part of the diet. What was that like? That's from the heavens, that poutine, right? Did you feel like you were you were having an out-of-body experience?
Yeah. I shared it, so it wasn't too bad.
Well done. Well done.
It was amazing.
Yes. Oh, how I miss it.
Next time you're in Montreal.
All right. It is a deal. All the best. Best of luck to you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for squeezing us in. There she is, Joanne Calderwood, fighting again in November against Bec Rawlings in Sydney. Thank you, Joanne. We'll talk to you soon. Always great to catch up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
All the best. There she goes. JoJo, Scotland's own, coming off that loss to Cynthia Calvillo, but she returns to action in Sydney in November against Bec Rawlings, one of the newest faces at 125 pounds. That division has just opened up, and it's going to be interesting to see who emerges from the show, who becomes champion off the show, and then who are the faces that become contenders after the show is completed. So that card is November 19th in Sydney, and it is headlined by Mark Hunt versus Marcin Tybura.